I decided to make this video based off a controversial Reddit comment I made and a completely reasonable response. ScoreSaber or Beatleader, a question asked for millennia, and today I'm going to be going through what I like and dislike about both and deciding which is better. Just a little disclaimer, 90% of this video is going to be based off personal preference and is in no way objective, even though I'll be talking as if it is. I'm going to start out with talking about ScoreSaber because it's what I have the most experience with, and most of this video is going to be comparing Beatleader to ScoreSaber. The first thing I want to say is that ScoreSaber kind of just does everything right. It looks pretty good, it works well, and it's gotten me and thousands of others through their ranked experience. Beat Saber's UI is very average, in my opinion. It fits the Beat Saber feel, it looks pretty good, and it displays all the information you need, you know? Scores, AC, PP. It's also pretty easy to find information about each play and player. Using it is very intuitive and only takes about 5 minutes to learn. It's very basic, but it works. Now, one of the things I don't like about ScoreSaber is its availability. Right now, it's not available for standalone, or at least it's not practical. I'm a PC VR user, so it doesn't really matter to me if Quest users can use whatever, but I used to be one. Back in the day, ScoreSaber was out for about 2 months. And those 2 months were just heaven to me. Grinding out PP, getting new scores, comparing myself to others, it was just awesome. But then Beat Saber updated, and ScoreSaber didn't. That is until about 4 months ago, almost a year and a half later. And it's only for 1.17. At the time of release, 1.21 was already out, and 1.22 would come out just a few days later. Now, I don't know if you've ever downgraded Beat Saber on the Quest, but it is a nightmare. And finding mods for older versions of the game is even harder. So if you did want to take on the daunting task of getting ScoreSaber for your Quest, it would take hours of modding. It's just not worth it. Moving on to the rank system, ScoreSaber has it down pat. And of course they would, they literally invented PP. I honestly don't have any complaints, except for PP v2.9. Honestly though, I think everything's weighted perfectly, PP isn't inflated, and with the wide variety of maps, there's something for everybody. When it comes to replays, ScoreSaber is king. It's high quality and works beautifully. It's great for assessing your own plays, watching other people's plays, and recording. It's super nice to have replays on your monitor and in your headset so that you can have different perspectives. And what I like most is that it feels like you're watching Beat Saber. It's a one-to-one representation of what's happening in the headset. For me, it's the perfect setup, and I can't think of anything to make it better. Prior to this, I had never touched Beatleader. When I saw it come out on the Discord, I saw it and was like, I don't need that, I have ScoreSaber, and completely disregarded it. I also have a couple friends who play standalone and told me about it, and they said pretty much nothing positive. Because of this, I think I had a very negative prejudgment of Beatleader, and I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm going to start out with what I like about Beatleader. The UI is just perfect. The subtle blue and purple gradient, the smooth animations, and precise information layout. It's truly magnificent. The customization in Beatleader is also amazing. You can have every statistic known to man, or none at all. Also, Beatleader displays a lot more information than ScoreSaber. Most of these statistics require their own mod, but with Beatleader they're all in one spot. Beatleader's website is also fantastic. It's just as customizable, and the information layout is top tier. This is something Beatleader definitely has over ScoreSaber. The amount of information you can get per play is just astounding. And the friends and clan feature is really cool. I don't know what it does. I don't have any friends, but it's cool. Another huge positive for Beatleader is that it's available for both standalone and PC on the newest version of Beat Saber, and it gets regularly updated for both. Now, unfortunately, this is kind of where the positives for Beatleader ends. The replay feature for Beatleader is incredibly mid. First, you can't watch replays inside of your headset. A huge oversight in my opinion. The only way you can watch Beatleader replays is on their website. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to take off my headset and go to a whole different app just to watch a replay or two. And since you can't watch replays of your failed plays or plays that aren't PBs, it makes real-time self-analysis really hard. Now, one thing I will say is that the replays are a lot better than I expected. I had heard horrible things about these replays, and I was under the impression that they were going to be similar to the Beat Saber reviews. Thankfully though, they're not. Now, even though these replays are incredibly customizable, which I think is great, there's no support for custom colors or the counters mod. And the quality simply doesn't compare. And if you want the customization of Beatleader replays, you can get a beef version of it with camera 2, kinda making it redundant. I also feel like the style of the replays just don't fit Beat Saber too well. With ScoreSaber, it looks and feels like you're playing Beat Saber, But with Beatleader, it's kind of like you're playing the beta version. It also doesn't have smooth cam, so recording with it really isn't the best. The replay system for Beatleader isn't bad, it's pretty good actually. The problem is that ScoreSaber does it so much better. A big deal breaker for me was that the PP system in Beatleader was kinda off.
Okay. This video took a little bit to make, and in that time, I have acquired new information. When I was recording this, I was talking about Beatleader's PP system as if it was trying to take what ScoreSaber had and remake it. But that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to make their own ranking system, completely separate from ScoreSaber. And because I didn't know this while I was recording, what I said in my recording is very different from what I think now. And because of that, I've had to cut out quite a lot of it. So this next section is going to be a little bit choppy, but I think a lot of what I said still applies.
There are a ton of instances where the star rating is different in Beatleader than it is in ScoreSaber. Sometimes the difference isn't that much, and other times it's literal stars of difference. And even when the star ratings are the same, Beatleader gives a little bit more PP than ScoreSaber. Also, there are a ton, and I mean a lot, of maps that are ranked in ScoreSaber, but not in Beatleader. Now, this isn't a problem if you're using just one or the other, but when you try and compare the two, it gets a little confusing. 1 PP in ScoreSaber is very different to 1 PP in Beatleader, and you can see that by comparing the number 1 players on both platforms. Number 1 in Beatleader has over 2k PP on the number 1 in ScoreSaber, despite it only being out for a couple of months. And in fact, the number 1 Beatleader is number 2 ScoreSaber, and they have 2k PP on themselves, just showing you how much PP Beatleader just gives out. I think Beatleader should either change their PP to Beatleader points or something like that, to make comparison between the two platforms easier. Also, the player base for Beatleader is minuscule compared to ScoreSaber. After 1 day of playing with Beatleader, I was rank 4000. And you know what? I only played ACK maps. That's insane. The progression in Beatleader is astronomical. And because of this, your global ranking isn't that accurate. If you're top 1000 in Beatleader, your skill is comparable to top 5,000 to 500 in ScoreSaber. Because 95% of all ranked players use ScoreSaber, your global ranking is like 100 times more accurate than in Beatleader. So, which is better? In my opinion, ScoreSaber takes the dub here. Now that's not to say Beatleader's bad, it's actually really good. It's just that Beatleader has a couple problems that ScoreSaber fixes. And the things Beatleader has over ScoreSaber are just quality of life things that I don't have a problem dealing without. You know, the funny part is, this entire argument is completely redundant. If you're on standalone, there's no reason to get ScoreSaber because it never updates and only supports one version. So you're kinda just stuck with Beatleader. And if you're on PC, you can just use both. Yeah, you can just switch through them with one button. I can use Beatleader for its beauty and statistic dump, and then switch back to ScoreSaber to check my global ranking and use replays. So, moral of the story. Do what you want, I'm not your dad.